What is up, guys? Today I'm going to go over how to make a fully optimized listing from the start all the way to the end. I'm going to show you every piece of it, and I'm going to do it all live so you guys can see it really while it's happening. So today we're going to go through one of my clients that I consult for, one of their products right here, which is a cheese slate board with a set of cutlery, right? And so if you don't know how to actually set up even this part right here, we can go through that really quickly. You just go to Add Product, right? And then if it's a new product, right, which most or all private label is, right, you're not going to actually list against anyone's ASINs in this category right here. You'd go to create a new product listing, right? And for this one, we just type cheese board. Serveware platters, cheese plates, right? So we choose cheese plates. It seems like the most relevant. Once you get to here, you simply put in your title, put in your right condition new with your price here, and you want your price to be really high, guys, remember, because of the price band review like I talk about in my listing optimization module. So make the price super high, right? And then under vital info you just do any type of title, right? And if you want to control your canonical URL, you use specific keywords before the first hyphen, right? And I talk about that in my listing optimization module as well. And then you just simply put your UPC here. You can buy, I buy UPCs from Nationwide Barcodes. Amazon suggests you do it from GS1, but GS1 is much more expensive. And I don't think that Amazon's going to do any retroactive type of cleanup as far as UPCs. I think just eventually they'll mandate that you use GS1 or use barcodes from Amazon. So for now, I use the cheap ones, right? So you just copy and paste the number for UPC right here, and you're good to go, right? So I'm not going to do it again because I don't want to create another listing, but we are just going to use this listing right here, right? And so if we want to edit it, we just obviously go into edit. Okay, so it is basically at this point completely empty. There's nothing in here besides a very basic title and manufacturer, right? And so what we're going to do is create the offer first, right? So we always like to do gift wrap available, can be gift message, right? Because it just makes it a little bit easier. Gift products are returned less, right? And if people ever want to give your products as a present or whatever to someone, you want to make it available, right? I like to pick the max order quantity 4, right? Because this isn't going to be potentially, well, I mean, this could, I guess, be like a restaurant thing. So let's do 10. Right? Once you have more data, you can kind of play with this, but I like to always set a max order quantity just because it prevents people from spying on your listing with the iTrack999 method, and it prevents, if you're ever running promotions and you just kind of forget about things, you don't want somebody buying all of your inventory for like 90% off, right? So let's make the sale price, or sorry, the your price a bit higher, and let's make the sale price $49.97. You can go ahead and start the sale today and have it end in 2 years, right? So images we already have set up. Description, right? So this is where we're going to add what appears as the bullets. The product description, you can use HTML here, right? Like if you want to bold like your title, right? This is where you can kind of do a little bit more as far as keyword stuffing, right? But the product description has the lowest weight as far as which keywords are indexed and things like that. Amazon definitely focuses most on your title, second on your backend keywords, and tied for second is your key product features, or what a lot of people call your bullet points, right? So let's create these. The way that I like to do it is kind of using merchant words, right? So cheese board seems to be the highest searched, right? But we're actually selling a cheese board with a cutlery set. So cheese cutting board, say cheese, right? So let's just go into Amazon and go to cheese board and cutlery, right? So let's take like the top 2, obviously the leaders right here, right? Top 2. Take a look, right? Because we're not wanting to reinvent the wheel, guys. We just want to highlight any potentially different features that we have based on our competitors, right? Obviously writing our own as far as sizing and everything like that, but it helps to have something to look at, right? So let's take a look at just 2 of the top people, right? What they're actually writing. These are obviously both well done as well. and let's use them to base our keywords, right? So now we have something to look at, and that makes things easier, right? So they're highlighting the bamboo. Ours is actually a slate, right? So, and you want to have capital letters here, right? Premium quality slate cheese board with cutlery set. And then you want to say something like, you know, beautifully crafted cheese board includes set of premium quality cutlery. Makes a perfect gift item for a wedding party or to simply share time with your loved ones or best friends. Right, and so it can just be something simple like that. Right, and then we want to highlight stainless steel cutlery set will not rust. Right, and if you want some like ideas of things to actually include, a good way of doing that is just to go into kind of the leader, right? Take a look at the 1-star reviews. Do not buy, bad workmanship. The wood split on the anterior part, cracked immediately after first use. Too late to ask for a refund. Took it out of the box, used a second time, and the board had a huge crack in it. Right, it stains, damages, cracked in half, right? So it seems like a lot of people are worried about it cracking. So let's use our second bullet to say something like, cheese board will does not crack. Right, so you want to address kind of some of the things that people are worried about as far as 1-star reviews. We stand behind the quality of our cheese board and cutlery set. Due to no fault of your own, we will replace it 100% free of charge. Right, so something like that. So what else are they talking about? Durable serving utensils, solid, gorgeous mozo. Right, so you want to include the size, right? Top quality oak wood. You want to include 5 here, right? So and I like to include, kind of like putting the person in the setting of where they'll use it. Receive compliment after compliment from your party guests surrounding this beautiful cheese board cutlery set. Stainless steel cutlery set will not rust and will continue to amaze your friends and family with its rustic beauty. right? And so, I'm doing this live for you guys, so obviously I'd probably spend a tiny bit more time, but I just want to show you kind of how my thought process is when I'm writing these, right? Money back guarantee, we kind of already discussed that. Necessity for every home, sturdy and stainless, right? We'd say perfect size, shape for any home, right? And then you just want to add in your specs. Is the perfect size for any kitchen, party table, or gathering of loved ones. Easy to clean and wash and reuse for many years to come, right? And so it's pretty good. It's using a lot of the keywords. It's addressing a lot of the concerns that people have as far as the product itself. So then what we do is just simply copy and paste these into our key product features. Right. And another cool little thing that I like to do that I think is probably technically against terms of service, but a lot of people do it, including me, is just add check marks at the beginning of your product description, just because it kind of draws people's eyes to it. It looks good in my opinion, right? And it's not a huge risk as far as getting in trouble with Amazon. But obviously everything violating the terms of service is kind of used at your own risk, and is cost versus reward, right? So I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, so and then the product description, you can write more about things like that, include some of the same keywords, but the product description really isn't a huge deal, so we're not going to focus heavily on that. But let's take a look at some keywords, right? Because keywords are very important. With Amazon's recent update to A9, you can really only index, about 500 to 700 characters as far as keywords, right? And so you want to kind of pack as many relevant keywords as you can into your keyword section, but you have to be careful about real estate, right? Because you don't have a ton of room anymore. So cheese platter. Let's get that. Let's do cheese board cutlery. Let's try it with the space. Cheese board and knives. Let's try a few more, see if we can get anything good here. Cheese board knife set. Or let's just try cheese board set. Nice. Right, so now we have a ton of words. So we're going to open up the first one in Excel, right? And we're going to take kind of all of the top words, put them in here, right? And the point here is to kind of create a master list that we're going to derive our keywords from based on the highest volume, based on the thing that would get us the most sales. And then once we have this master list, we're basically going to remove all the duplicate words and then add in the most popular, right? So now that we have a master list, right, and this is super quick, as you guys can see, right, and this is definitely by far the best way to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to filter these and sort by highest volume, right? And we don't need a million different words, but let's choose somewhere to cut this off. So anything above 500 searches per month we're going to use, right? So let's head into, oops, trace my IP. And what trace my IP does is it takes out all duplicate words, but it maintains the original order. So how A9, Amazon's algorithm, actually creates long tail sets of keywords using your automated, when you're turning on your automated campaigns on PPC and you see that you're getting impressions on these long tail keywords, right? But you haven't actually created these long tail keywords in your back end. What Amazon's doing is using permutations to use the order of the single non-duplicate words to create long tail phrases, right? So if you have 4 words, it'll put the first and second word as a combination, the first and third word, the first and fourth word, the first, second, third, and fourth, right? The first, second, and third, and those become the permutations that Amazon's testing, right? So the more individual words that you have that can make up these combinations, the better, right? For your long tail keywords, what you're ranking for organically, and things like that. So what we did was we clicked original order, and now we have this group of words, right, that are unique and that we can kind of plug into our backend keywords. And cheese platter with Y, cutting board, marble, slate, set, cover, Swiss wine, Wisconsin cheese, right? The Malvern, Bosca, big wire, slicer, brie, right? Brie, a lot of these words are words that are complementarily related but aren't necessarily directly related, right? But a lot of people like cheese and crackers. A lot of people, cheeses, unfinished, silver, right? Slate, right? That's another good one that we kind of forgot. Let's see what that looks like on merchant words. Cheese, slate. Yeah, so let's add these in quickly. So we're going to go back to our master list, add these in, and then all we have to do is resort this by descending. And we'll still go down to 500 or so. And we can just simply rerun our trace my IP, original order, take these, and now our keyword set includes things about slates, right? Because it's a little bit more specific to us, since our plate isn't actually wood. But it is a good thing to include these wooden words as well, right? Because sometimes people will be searching for wood, but then they'll realize that they actually prefer how the slate looks, right? And so you get those buyers that aren't quite, exactly related, but you convert them with the appeal of your listing itself. So once we have these words, what we're going to do is come into the keywords section, and we're going to add them a reasonable amount at a time. I think you get 1,000 characters per line. And the point that we're adding more than the 500 to 700, right, per the back end is because after about a week or so, you'll be able to realize, which of these are actually indexing and which of them are not. And then once you can tell which ones are indexing, right? And by indexing, I mean Amazon's actually reading them as relevant to your listing, and when people type in those keywords, it's going to show your products, right? And the more sales you get, the higher you rank on those organic index charts, and then the more organic sales you're going to get because people are seeing you on the first, second, third page or whatever on the Amazon searches, right? And so once you have all of these keywords set, right, go ahead and click save. And so, just in that short amount of time, right, we got our keywords done, we got our bullets done, right? So let's take a look at our title, because this was just kind of a temporary title, because you want to manipulate the canonical URL, and how you do that is through the hyphenation of your title, right? So again, there's no reason to reinvent the wheel here. Let's see what people are doing, right? So slate cheese board set. including stainless steel cutlery, right? So you can do that, right? Because those are probably the most important words. They're what you want the Amazon URL to reflect, and SEO as far as Google and other search engines, right? So includes 4 stainless steel knives and soapstone chalk. Right, and then we want to look and see kind of what the highest volume keywords are, right, from our master list, and we want to include these. So, and you only really have to include them once. So we have cheese board here, we have slate cheese, cheese board game, cheese platter, right? Perfect cheese platter. Right, and we have cheese board here, Swiss cheese board, wired cheese board slicer. Yes, we want to include, brie, wine, and cheese board, Wisconsin. Right, and so you get 200 characters for your title. So I like to use letter count. It's just the easiest way to do it. So we have 184, right? So we have a few more characters here. Serving, right? Wine and cheese. Serving board. So 8 more characters. We can include the cheese all in the same place too, just so it's a little bit cleaner. Swiss marble, Wisconsin brie, Swiss. All right, so 199. So that's perfect. So let's go ahead and replace our temporary title with that, right? Now we have the hyphen, so we can include our 5 to 9 words that appear in our canonical URL. And and now that's a very quick explanation of what to do. Gift wrap included, max order quantity, images are set, description is done, check marks, right? We made all of our keywords, and then the last thing we do is in about a week, right, after being live, we'll be able to see what Amazon has actually indexed, right, using our keyword index tool, right? And so basically what we do is we'd simply come in here and we would take these keywords, we'd plug them in, right, all 5 different rows. We'd take our ASIN, we'd plug it into the ASIN, right, and then all we do is check keywords, and then it would tell us, you're indexing for 30%, 50%, 60% of your keywords, right, and then all you do is you'd highlight the indexed keywords, right, and then you download that that CSV, that Excel file. You'd replace all of these keywords only with the keywords you're indexing, and then you'd try a new set of keywords, right? So now you'd only have indexed keywords here, and it breaks it down super easily for you in the keyword index checker, right? And then once you do that, you can basically use your search term report from your PPC, add in any words that you're definitely converting on, right, into your keywords as well. Oh, these are in the platinum keywords, I just realized, right? So yeah, you have to be careful here, right? It's because you don't get platinum keywords as a normal seller. These platinum keywords are more for sellers like Nike and things like that, right? So we'll go ahead and get rid of these platinum keywords and add them in the search terms where they should be at the beginning, right? And so once you have only index keywords in here, you can add terms that you know are converting from your PPC search term report, right? And then you can just go back into to merchant words and add like actual phrases with repeats into your remaining lines, right, with the highest volume, and then a week later run your keyword index search tool again, right, and then just do the same thing. So just only include the ones that are indexed and continue to add more different stuff. See if you can catch any further indexing, right, through keyword phrases and things like that. And just, once a week, once a month, continue to iterate, continue to remove things that are not indexing and add new experiments, right? And so as far as this target audience is concerned, I fill it out. I haven't seen a huge play here. Sometimes you will index for these things. This is obviously not something for kids as it is as much for adults, right? And so when it is for adults, I usually use adults, seniors, men, unisex adult, and women, right? So subject matter, cheese board, serving, platter, wine, brie, Wisconsin, Swiss. So these are just more places that you can index your keywords, right? So it's not a huge deal, but I mean it's pretty easy to figure out. Cheese board, slate, set, cutlery, intended use, parties, gatherings, restaurants, cheese tasting, right? So now we have a fully put together listing, and we did it in 30 minutes to an hour, and it's going to be a very well put together listing, right? It addresses people's concerns as far as customers. It includes a ton of keywords that related to our product that we can tell whether or not they're indexing and update and iterate based on our keyword index results, right? And we can continue to tweak our title and bullets based off of our PPC search term report, right, which shows us the truest data as far as what customers are actually typing, what they're actually clicking, what's converting as far as the titles and things like that, right? And so we can come back and we can continue to iterate this, and we're going to have a hugely successful listing. Two final little tricks that I like to do as far as saving time, immediately knowing what's indexed, right? And another tool that I like to use besides just merchant words and Google Keyword Planner sometimes just to verify actual volume, right? Because the volume on all of these different Amazon specific search engines are actually just estimates, right? So I use Google Keyword Planner to verify volume, but I've already done that for this listing. Although I do recommend everyone verifies the search volume to make sure you're above that 1K to 10K monthly searches, right? You want to be either there or above it for it to be worth it most of the time. But one more tool, right, that I like to use is Keyword Inspector. So for the top listing, competitor-wise, for the product you're launching, go ahead and grab the ASIN from the URL right here, right? ASINs usually start with B or 0, and they always look like this, and it's usually after the detailed page in the URL. So grab it, go into Keyword Inspector, right? And Keyword Inspector is another paid tool. Merchant Words is $9 a month using the discount specifically for our group. You can find it in the Common Questions document. There is no discount for this one, unfortunately, but it is a unique service, right? And so it's $20 a month, I think, for 100 credits. And what this does, guys, is you put an ASIN into the line here, and it shows you reverse ASIN keyword search, right? So keywords are ranked best to least converting user proprietary algorithm. Monthly search volume, it shows rank, unique words rank, common misspellings, right? So it gives you a ton of data. So I've already run this specific ASIN, so let's take a look at what it gives us. Right, and so if we download the CSV, take a look, it gives us this document right here. This document has a ton of good stuff, right? So you can use these keyword phrases, and what it does is it looks up the ASIN and then it finds these keyword phrases associated with that ASIN, right? So it uses the indexing, it uses their PPC data and things like that, right? It gives you an estimated search volume. It says what ASIN keyword position rank they have, right? So anything number 1, so if you wrote in charcuterie set, it would be first. If you wrote in Bambusi by Belmont, this ASIN would come up first in Amazon's organic search results, right? So there's a lot of valuable data here. Another cool part is the individual unique words, right? So if you take a look at the PPC module, right, you can run these as your low-key bids, and then you can find out exact customer searches to further iterate your PPC campaigns, right? So there's a lot of good info here. And so I went ahead and added these to my master list. I regenerated my trace my IP master list of keywords, right? So I put those into my search terms here. And then another final cool little trick that you guys can do is, instead of waiting for that week to see which keywords you're indexing for, you can use Keyword Indexer with your master list, right? So I copy and pasted all of the keywords that I just put into my keyword set from Trace My IP, right, into the Keyword Indexer. Right, and then a cool thing you can do is, instead of using your own ASIN, you can go ahead and use the #1 organic ranked result of your nearest competitor into the keyword indexer, right? So if we paste that in here, a cool thing we can do is we can run the keyword index checker, right? And so I've already done that since it takes a second. So I've run it on their ASIN, right, using our master list of keywords, and now it tells me exactly which of our master keywords they are indexing for. And so if you highlight just the indexed words, download the CSV, then you can see, right, after removing the duplicates, you can actually see which keywords they are indexing for, which is very cool because it means you don't have to wait to figure anything out, right? So there's no duplicates here. So they're obviously ranking for cheese, platter, board, set, cutting, knives, right? And so what we can do, what we've done here, guys, is we've basically solved what we are going to index for without having to wait for that extra week, right? And so if we have a different product, right? So since our product is actually a slate board rather than a wooden board, we'd still want to include our slate keywords, right? But this gives us a very good idea as to which keywords we're actually going to be ranking for. And so that's a cool little trick, right? If you don't want to wait, if you have a product that's extremely similar to a different product, you kind of skip the iterative process and you can immediately add keywords that you know for sure you're going to rank for, right? And you want to be ranking for, because Amazon's deemed these keywords as relevant for the product that they are organically ranking as the #1 position, right? So that's a cool little trick you guys can use. Play around with throwing those into your search terms, trying short tail phrases with the highest volume from merchant words, from Keyword Inspector, and just continually continually iterate, and you're going to find the best organic keywords, right? Eventually you're going to be indexing for all of them. And when that happens, you're going to be ranking for a number of different long tail search results, right? And your product is going to see higher organic ranks, which means more eyes, which in the end means more sales.